He was accused of something that he didn't do. Okay? And if you have trouble with that, take a look at the FBI and everybody else who
big up Liche. What's good, Liche? What's good?
Investigated any notion that he had.
Yeah, big up God's favorite. Yeah, the website did get absolutely gadooshed, which is a shame, by the way. It's a shame because there was a lot of good merch on there that I didn't get my grubby mitts on because I was dilly-dallying. But it's also a shame because Brendan legitimately thought he had a little merch empire going on there with his fucking thick boy shit. But now it's no more thick boy, no more Tiger Thick. Remember that? Remember Tiger Thick whiskey? No more.
Had anything to do with anybody underage.
Yep, we're at the point where the boys are trying to revive D'Elia's image. Well, everyone except Joe Rogan, who hasn't mentioned his good friend in 5 years.
The funny thing about this, by the way, like I mentioned previously, it does feel like everybody is trying to revive, resuscitate, restore Chris D'Elia's image in the public. But the only person that isn't doing it is Chris D'Elia. Like, I haven't heard him once come out and say the things that Brian has said or intimated against, you know? He's maybe hinted at it a little bit, but I don't think he strongly said, you know, in no certain terms that all the allegations are false and kind of pouring cold water on them and mentioning the stuff about the FBI not investigating. Like, I don't think he said that, but everyone else is going out of their way to say it with their whole chest. I wonder why.
Now the new narrative is that he only talked to adults when the evidence is allegedly still out there and has been for years. Multiple conversations persisting after learning their age.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. I still can't believe Netflix cast Chris D'Elia as a paedophile season here. Literally the irony. Oh yeah, but by the way, I think that's the original girl. I think that might be the original tweet that actually killed Chris D'Elia's career. I still can't believe Netflix. Yeah, exactly. Wait, I thought I was only a one. He was in my DMs when I was 16. Watching you was surreal. He was in my DMs when I was 16. I don't know about you guys, but most people social media feed, especially Instagram, from my experience, it's pretty easy to ascertain how old people are based on their feed. It's quite easy to tell, especially if somebody's got a feed where they've been posting since they got Instagram. You can probably tell how old somebody is, even if they lie on their bio, even if their recent pictures are a little bit, you know, they're a little bit more grown looking. You can easily tell when somebody's underage. So there were instances where Chris probably could tell that he's considerably older than these girls, even if they weren't underage. Let's say they were legal, quote unquote. You're in your 40s, bro. There's no reason why you should be talking to an 18-year-old anyway, you know? That's the kind of shit that I'm on. I'm not really, you know, there's guys out there that love to fucking pull up the different fucking ages of consent in different states in America, all over the world and shit, and argue. But it's like at some point, as a man, you just got to take responsibility and be like, you know what? I'm in my 40s. I probably shouldn't be talking to a fucking 18-year-old or a 19-year-old or even a 20-year-old, really. You know, I should be minding my business. But hey, what do I know?
But his good pals want us to believe the new narrative they're spinning, so here.
What's this? Yeah, fact about Chris D'Elia. When he stayed at my hotel 2 years ago, he called for help with his AC unit, then exposed himself to the woman who went to help, then tried to get her to come back to the room. If you see a post, please leave me anonymous, but with Chris, wow. He was exposing himself to fucking AC unit. To be fair, this sounds very similar to what Russell Brand was accused of early on as well. So this is the thing that's fascinating about this shit. Like, he legitimately got away with it, and he's still out here trying his hardest to convince everybody that he's not as bad as it seems and he should be back in comics. Like, bro, you kind of got away with it. The fact that none of Chris D'Elia's comedy friends stood up for him or defended him is proof enough that he probably did the shit he was accused of. But he got away with it, right? That shit sucks. But to be out here and still try and push your career and shit, or feel like you should be back in Hollywood, you should be back on Netflix, is pretty insane. You got away with it. Just be grateful you got away with it. Let's not do too much now. Because if you do too much and push too much, people are going to make these, you know, allegations known again, and thus, you know, continues the cycle, which I would love, of course, as a stream, but damn.
Here we go. Ignore this site too, where again, multiple other girls.
What's that person say? Fuck you. What's that person say there? Fuck you, Chris D'Elia. Fuck you, Chris D'Elia. You solicited nudes from minors while you were in Vancouver and tried to fuck my friend when we were 16. And when I called you out on Twitter, you told me you'd ruin her life if I didn't delete it. Absolute pedophile scum. 16 fucking years old. She was a child. Sick and another friend of mine just let me know you did the same thing to her while you were here. Cheers, Chris. So I wonder in this case, was Chris adding random girls that were following him on social and then going through those girls' friends and adding the friends? Was that what he was doing? Because how has he always got some sort of record, or there's some sort of experience, some sort of story to tell amongst a group of friends regarding Chris? Especially if he's a grown-ass man. It's like, why do you know so many young girls? Especially from the same group of friends. Oh Christ. Before it blows up, I'm not in contact with the girl anymore, but I did message her on Instagram to see if she'd be willing to come forward about anything. We haven't spoken in years, so I'm not sure she'll be willing. It'd be her story to tell in detail. Wow, I forgot about all these things, you know. I'm not gonna lie, it's been so long. I forgot about the seriousness of the allegations. Like, there were a lot of girls, not even accounts, not even a lawsuit. There's a lot of girls on social that were coming out saying, yeah, Crystalia hit me up when I was 16. Like, many girls, it seems like. I completely forgot about this part of the story.
Other girls were also contacted.
Another girl, although I've been publicly saying it for years, fuck Crystalia. He solicited news of me when I was 17 years old and constantly messaged me whenever he was touring of Vancouver and asked me to come backstage to his shows. Imagine inviting a 17-year-old to come backstage at his shows. Maybe it's different because it's not a comedy club, but that's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? That's kind of cringe. Not cringe, that's kind of sick. To actually invite a teenager like that to your shows and be parading him around people and shit, acting as if that's cool. And then when they ask you, is that your daughter or your cousin or something? You're like, nah. Like, this is someone I'm trying to fuck. It's like, ooh.
Allegedly, while in high school.
What stuck was
just a few illegal emails from him. I was 17. Chris to the person, hey, nope, not a problem at all. Hurry, I need to be naked with you already. Jesus Christ, Crystalia. Hurry, I need to be naked with you. He's laying it on thick, bro. He's laying it on thick. Hurry, I need to be naked with you, you know? Let's drink a glass of water, my friend. Let's drink a glass of water.
Myth that somehow he was a...
Well, it's fun to tear things down.
Alright, y'all. I went back to my 2011 Facebook Messenger and I found DMs from Crystalia being creepy and persistent to me when I was 17. This is a thread. Crystalia to the girl. Hi, yeah, I'm in Golden, Colorado. I did a show. Where are you? She replies, oh, damn, I would have liked to have gone. I'm in Greenwood Village, just south of Denver. It's about 30 minutes from Golden. Is that the only one you're doing while you're here? Yeah, what are you doing? What do you mean, like now? Ah, too young. I'm leaving tomorrow. Ah, sad. I wish I could have seen the show. How old are you anyways? I'm 30. The usual, you know, same. Why the random contact, if I may ask? I don't know. I think you're cute. Come on, Crystalia, man. Jesus Christ, bro. If you're gonna be an old guy trying to hit up young things, you gotta just be able to just bag them, innit? You can't be like, you can't be trying to run this like nice guy game. Like, you can't be doing all this meek shit. It's probably, it comes across, it's just worse. You might as well just be a pure dog to them instead of this sort of shit.
Down, and that's what people like to do.
Because I've already done the thing that buried me, and somebody's got a screenshot of.
You never hit me back, girl. Crystalia says to the girl. Yeah, I mean, you're 30 and all. You should have said that, he says to her. I'm sorry, do you have a show in Denver coming up? I don't. Lost your number. Give me your number again. You're insistent. Why? Because I like you. Duh. And plus, you know, you kind of like it. So what is it? Sorry, I mean, you're 30 and all. Fucking hell. Brutal. You're 30, you might as well be 100, especially if you're a girl and you're like 17, 18. A 30-year-old must feel like a 50-year-old to you, innit? That's like ancient. That's really, that's like beyond unk. That's granddad status.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
The Chris situation.
Big up Young God vibes. Let's be honest. The only thing you want to do with the 18-year-old is manipulate them. What do you think as a man? You think younger vibes? I don't think that's true.
Powerful bunch.
Oh, big up SLZs.
All these allegations and proof, but no one's asking the real question. How's Cristelia's dad doing? I hear he's aging rapidly.
Yeah, exactly. That's the real victim of these allegations. That's a real victim. That's the real victim of some of these accusations out there. Oh, Cristelia's dad. Won't somebody please think about Cristelia's dad? Big up Asad Aziz. I don't think guys who go for young girls want them only because they're easy to manipulate. I think guys that want young girls want them because they enjoy being with young girls, you know? I don't think it's only about the manipulation thing. I think some of them just flat out enjoy fucking young girls. For whatever reason. The fresh meat aspect of it, the excitement, the whatever. I don't know. There's something about it that they enjoy. I don't think it's all just like a mind game thing. And I also don't think that it's just I don't think it's easy even. I don't think it's, if you're an older dude, it's going to be way easier for you to bag super young girls, because you're also still competing with younger dudes who are maybe, you know, better looking than you and stuff, or whatever it may be. So I don't think it's even easier to bag them. I just think the ones who like younger girls just like younger girls. But then it becomes a sick game when you start to go around and try and scout or pick up those young girls before they get legal, because you can feel like you can get in there ahead of time, which is a mad game. But I know dudes, especially from ends, you know, from the areas that I've grown up in, the rough areas, that was a thing, you know? Like when a new girl came around, they would go out their way to try and pounce on them so no one else could touch them and shit. In some ways they would, or in some cases they would go out there to try and impregnate them and stuff, to take them out of this circulation of the girls that are around. It can get pretty dark, but I think these type of guys just like fucking young girls.
Is on the Bill Cosby level in my.
Those days are long gone. You ever see
Cristalia, when I was a senior in high school, I went to his show. I tweeted to him. He then private messaged me and told me to keep it private. I still have screenshots. He then tried to hook up with my friend and I in his hotel room and keep like patting the bed to come to sit down. But we were 17, so we got creeped out and left. Could you imagine? Could you imagine scaring away the hoes? Two girls come over to your hotel room, underage, but they come to your hotel room and you're so weird, you're such an oddball, you're so creepy, you scare both of them away and they both go running. Could you imagine how much of a creep you are? That you made two girls who willingly, consently came over to your hotel room to hang out or run. Jesus Christ.
14-year-old, she looks 30. I've never seen, there's no such thing as a 14-year-old girl anymore. They go from like 6 to 25.
Big red flag.
People think Hollywood is evil, bro. Whatever you think that is, that's what I am.
Oh, really, dude? Oh, there's a ring of that the top producers know about and keep kids and pass them around. And oh, really, dude?
What a great clip. Oh shit, I forgot that's where it came from. I forgot the meme comes from him saying that. Like, because I think that was during the fucking that was during that fucking pizza thing, that pizza controversy, right? The pizza shop controversy. I think that was during that whole time. Wow, I forgot that meme come from there.
They try to play it off like the FBI investigation and Rolling Stones would immediately lead to convictions or innocence, but come on. Dave Chappelle did this skit, and 15 years went by before anything happened to R. Kelly. Back to Cosby, his behavior was a known thing in the industry for decades, and he's now free from a legal loophole. Even old Island Boy went on for quite a while after the first arrest. So no, resolution to cases like this take a long time historically, or there is no investigation. Look at Joey Diaz allegedly.
Yo, stick my get up in the belly room. I'll make a call for you. That's the gateway into coming to Hollywood. Everybody knows that.
How many girls did you have do that?
Oh, 20 of them. I had this little blonde.
Even better than that is Chris being asked about Impractical Jokers Joe Gatto getting hit with similar allegations to him and having an absolute mental implosion.
What's that say? Live show when she was 15 years old, but she claimed that his behavior became flirtatious when she turned 18. Jesus Christ, bro. Having a girl's birthday in your calendar or knowing when she turns 18 and then messaging her back again, like, surely as a guy, you have to feel like you're a little bit of a diddler. You have to feel like you're a little bit on the cusp of being a PDF. If you send a girl that you've been kind of scoping from afar a DM that's like, oh, congratulations, happy birthday, now the coast is clear type of thing message. Like, you gotta feel like a PDF. There's no way you can't feel like one. No way you can't. No matter how grown they look, you gotta feel a little bit grossed out by yourself.
What happened? Fill me in.
The guy got accused of something that seemed vague. I have no idea. I didn't look at it.
Oh.
I just don't believe anything.
He just went. I guess he checked himself into rehab.
Oh,
for it.
How convenient, right? The person that got accused of a litany of fucking horrible allegations is also the type of person who doesn't believe any allegations because it suits him, I guess. I don't believe anything. Yeah, of course you don't. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Then George has his, oh yeah, my man of God image, referencing Dalia's allegations by making a comment about Joe Gatto's right after they'd just spoken about Dalia's cancellation and rehab, almost like George is covertly trying to put them on the spot, or he just has absolutely no self-awareness when he speaks. It is hard to tell with the podcast species.
I just don't believe in that stuff. I don't think like that rehab stuff. I think it's just they got caught and they're like, oh, this is like a good PR thing. Like,
are they going to rehab? Is that what this?
Is he talking about sex addiction rehab and shit? That's hilarious. Not knowing that Chris D'Elia's whole defense was that he was a sex addict. That's why he was into underage girls. Allegedly. That's his whole defense, if you think about it. His whole defense for like cheating on his wife with loads of underage girls was that he was a sex addict. Love it.
Well, I don't know anything about this. I thought maybe you guys would know.
To outdo this and potentially cause a physical revolt, here's Jeff Dye, Joe Rogan's new clinger, saying the lines they as a group thought sounded good, I guess.
You know, I didn't like D'Elia till he had kids. Facts. Watching D'Elia become a dad was the most beautiful change ever.
That's not...
Dad Chris is my favorite person.
Yeah.
No, sincerely. You had a kid and you became like my favorite guy.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm being honest.
How does it feel being a dad versus not being a dad?
Yeah.
A guy with no kids telling another guy with kids that since you became a dad, you're a nicer person, and that person being Jeff Dye, who legitimately crashed his car into a fucking wall, ran away from it, met up his girlfriend drunk and still fucking smelling like piss and shit, and only recently got sober. Like, I would take that as an offense. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm Chris D'Elia, look at that fucking pause, by the way. I'm taking it. I'm very offended that Jeff DUI didn't think much of it before I had kids. Like, go fuck yourself, brother. Honestly, please go fuck yourself. That's what I'll be saying in my head.
Saying you didn't like D'Elia at all before he had kids isn't as wholesome as they thought. Pretty sure Brendan has said the same thing about him not being a real person until that point, and to say this identical thing podcast to podcast, it ends up feeling weird and performative, especially with D'Elia and Dye just before this, dunking on actors for being able to cry on command, when they both had careers or have careers acting. Jeff Dye's 11 out of 10 glazing beyond the Joe connection is to, I guess, end up on the golden hour and replace Schaub, unless Brendan is going to fly between.
Oh, that's an interesting call. That's an interesting call. Maybe they'll get Jeff Dye to replace Brendan. I don't think they should do that. Maybe they should just keep that third seat for, like, you know, guests and stuff in case they come. But that'd be interesting flipping call. That'd be an interesting addition. Jeff Dye replaces Brendan. I wonder if that'll make the show funnier. Or if it'll end up just being Eric. It'll just be fucking Jeff Dye and Chris bullying Eric. I'd love to see that, by the way. Imagine if Jeff Dye and Eric every week just took it in turns to just rip fucking Eric Griffin to pieces. That would be so fucking fun. Every single day. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. What should I get? Retroactive? Where's Retroactive again? Where is it? Oh, there.
Austin and LA every single week to continue doing his one good deed in this world, carrying out Chris D'Elia's sentence of having to deal with him. Another angle is that unfortunately Jeff hasn't seen the same Rogan boost, perhaps signs at the beginning of...
Oh, jeez, really? He went on Rogan and his views are there.
Angle is that unfortunately Jeff hasn't seen the same...
That's his channel, right? Jeff Dye's official YouTube channel. Wow. I've got fucking Taz shows that have higher views than him. And he's a fucking comedian that's been on Rogan. He's got shows, podcasts, hour long that's got 300 views, 500 views, 400 views, 125 views. So maybe what's happening with Rogan is that maybe, do you remember when you go on Rogan and you'd get an automatic bump? Maybe it's not the case. Maybe Rogan now is entirely dependent on people actually like you. Like if you have a good Rogan appearance and people actually like you and want to follow you and support your content, then you get a boost. But it doesn't mean you're going to get a boost just for simply being on there and kind of agreeing with Rogan, just sitting there nodding. You also have to have your own personality, say your own things, and have people kind of root for you type of thing, root against you. But the whole plug and play, easy, just become famous overnight thing isn't the same anymore, you know? Isn't the same anymore over there on JRE. Because these views are pretty crazy when you think about it. You know, Jeff Dye's got all these celebrity friends, people with big podcasts. If he's only getting 125 views on you know, hour-long videos, it's like, wow, surprising.
Same Rogan boost, perhaps signs of the beginning of the end for the Rogan friend effect, and the golden handcuff hour with Diddles and Mr. Potato Head is the solution. Here's a good question instead. Is one allegation man the best person to defend another allegation man? Of course.
That's a good point, actually. Big up God's favorite. He is a hater, innit? So I think we already mentioned it before. Jeff DUI is a really, really supercharged hater. So maybe it would be the best thing to have like Jeff DUI and Chris and Eric Griffin on the same panel. They're just going to be miserable and moaning the entire fucking show. You know? It's going to be difficult. They're going to moan the entire part of the show. So maybe it doesn't make any sense in that regard.
Answer is yes.
He was accused of something and that he didn't do. Okay? And if you have
the little fucking, the little Indian, Pakistani little head wobble there, it's fucking hilarious.
He didn't do.
The little Desi
that
head
he
wobble, right?
didn't do. Okay.
That he didn't do. You know, that he didn't do. You know, big up my Desi man.
Accused of something and that he didn't do. Okay? And if you have trouble with that, take a look at the FBI and everybody else who investigated any notion.
Where I fall on this, you know, I'm going to be reasonable, I'm going to be honest. And I'm watching it, and they're like, he had a girl come to his room and suck his dick. And then he told her to leave. To be clear, though, you went there for cheating.
Yeah.
I think we should be a little more specific.
Yes.
The things you were accused of, you didn't do.
Correct.
Which is why you're my fucking friend, and I love you.
Thank you, Jack. And I love you for that, dude.
You're in trouble.
Thank you.
You cheated on your wife. That's
what I
the
did.
crime.
Brian's was only 4.
That's still kind of bad. And I love it, by the way. Imagine Jeff Dye being in your corner. That's when you know your career's over, isn't it? When Jeff Dye is the one in your corner, the one holding you down, that's when you know your career is over.
Allegedly to Chris's dozens allegedly, so he is an authority on the subject. My bad. He can't believe he's saying that. He would have never said that. He wasn't good then, but he's good now. Yep, not really helping.
My 5-year-old to school now, and I would be like,
Yo, big up Young Vibes. Women don't just accuse you of essay for no reason. There are a lot of men with way more money than have never. Exactly. Big up Young Vibes. Exactly. Big up Uche, Wagwan. Jeff Dye is worse at comedy than Schaub. Yeah, I said it myself. Oh, we said it on the stream, right? Yeah, exactly. I think you were here as well. Exactly. Yeah, we saw Jeff Dye stand up. No one needs to be put through that again. Garbage, especially for the hater that he is. Considering how much he hates and how much he criticizes others and how much of an opinion he has on other people, his stand up is garbagio.
Like I would never get. I could, before Kristen, my wife, she was like, sometimes you're gonna have to wake up and take Calvin to school, and I go,
you will.
No, I'm not going to. I go, no. It's like I get to go to bed early, but I get to wake up with him. It's super fun, and I cannot believe I'm saying that, but I just love it. It's so fun.
I mean, he was forced into it by cancellation and no longer had a flight to sleep off. That's why he prefaced that whole thing many times with, I would have never said that. Very genuine and real, thank you, Chris. Later we get to the I'm me defense, so I'm innocent. A classic, topped off with nobody ever says those things to me in public, it's cowardly.
When I went to rehab and the guy was there for masturbating, and I was like, oh, you got caught? And he was like, no. And I was like, then you don't have a problem.
You're fine, yeah.
Every now and then somebody will heckle me. Nobody's ever walked up to me in real life and said anything that people say on the internet.
Of course, yeah, it's all cowardly.
Ever.
It's all cowardly, yeah.
Of course, yeah. So Me though.
Yeah.
Please come to London. Please do a show in London. I dare you. Do a show in London. I triple dare you. Do a show in London. Let me get a ticket and let me be in there and let's see if someone doesn't shout something from the crowd. I'll do it for the lols. I will do it for the lols. Just for the lols of it. Please, triple dare you. Book a show in fucking London and see if somebody doesn't shout Pino in the fucking audience mid-set. Pino.
Right? So when you're...
Does anyone really believe not a single person has heckled Chris? As he just said, he has been heckled about the allegations that have dominated the past 5 years of his reputation. And if someone did say diddler to his face, D'Elia's going to do what? Add assault charges to this Sunday of Hollywood goodness? Shane and Matt said their piece publicly and no retaliation as yet.
I'd be like
every night, it's 2 a.m, you'd be like, Chris, I'm telling you, dude, you gotta tighten up.
These girls are gonna start talking.
I'm telling you, it's not good, buddy.
Tighten up
You're
the
fucking.
ship.
Too many girls are upset with you.
What a problem, huh? Too many girls.
Too many girls.
Oh, sure. Moments like that slip by that show they are aware. They just angle it as, nah, he's an asshole. One of the girls will use it for clout, or tell your wife, trying to obscure the whole alleged darker.
Oh yeah, remember that, by the way. That whole cult, it was right in front of our faces. We didn't notice it. I know I didn't notice it. But the whole cult thing, that was a part of his little shtick, his little ruse, his little game, his way to kind of cultivate a community early on, to 2018. The evidence was right in front of us, but we didn't even pay attention to it. The evidence was right in front of us the entire time.
Underbelly there. Well, except for when Brian feels the need to distance himself after Schaub'S said you've known Chris for a long time and hung out with him more than me.
Yeah, exactly. Big up us all disease. AZ gonna walk in bumping not like us on a boombox. Exactly. Bluetooth speaker. They not like us. Exactly. Exactly.
With Chris, and you've done that more than anyone. You've known him longer, but me and Chris do a show together. It was always hard to connect with him on a personal. It was always superficial.
Yes.
Shoes, great.
Yeah, my experience with Chris was always at the clubs.
It was hard to connect with him on a deeper level because he didn't want to be your friend at that point. He was riding high. That's why you couldn't connect with him on a level deeper than superficial materialistic level, because he wasn't really fucking with you like that. He gave a shit because you both were trainers and you're in LA and you helped to you jumped on his show a few times, but after a certain point, gotta start paying people to go on shows and shit. I don't know why this guy's acting as if maybe Chris getting cancelled and suddenly having time for regular people now is like it's like an endorsement of how great of a person he is, when really it's just one of those things. And if he was not cancelled, there's no way, like I said previously, if Chris D'Elia doesn't get cancelled, there's no way he fucking does a show with Brendan, or there's no way he's on the Golden Hour. No way. If he's still riding high off the back of fucking that zombie movie, then suddenly you comes out, even though you bombed still, if he still comes out and does what he needs to do, there's no way that Chris is working with fucking Brendan or Eric Griffin or Chris D'Elia. It's not happening. Do you know what I mean? Those are bozos.
I was just older, so I wasn't going to go out. I wasn't hanging out with him, outside of the Comedy Store or wherever. But
offload. Schaub offloads to Callan, and Callan offloads that bullet quick.
Look, most of our friends are sex offenders, so we can't even say anything.
I have to talk him
recovering sex offenders. Yeah. I do want to say that.
Uh-oh, Theo didn't get the memo. Oops. Don't step into the firing line just yet. Back to new Schaub Jeff Dye getting the Schaub induction.
The great Jeff Dye.
What
the
up,
great
guys?
cowboy Jeff Dye.
Team player Jeff Dye.
Dude, we're talking about how Jeff had a vasectomy. Dude, and I was telling you, you'd be a great dad. Dude, you as a baseball dad?
Oh,
hold on. You think you like You think you like baseball now?
Yeah.
Listen, dude.
Jeez, it might be the most Brendan Schaub way to start a podcast. He got a vasectomy. I now deduce should be a great baseball dad. His mind really goes beyond the common man. Even funnier than that is Schaub's 15th new dog trying to eat Jeff Dye. Good job, little buddy. Yep, rough handling. That's a cageable offense, Jeff. Really though, if anyone else brought a puppy that was running around the studio each week while recording, Schaub would be livid, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. If Brian had his dogs there, or no, Brian did bring his dogs there a couple of times, and Brendan was throwing little subs tweets all at him, his direction. But I don't think he'd like it. He wouldn't like it at all. Not in the slightest, But I guess Brendan has no choice but to bring his dog to the studio because I feel like Joanna put her foot down and said, I need to take these fucking half-naked mirror selfies. I need to be taking these fucking ass shot selfies. I can't be having this little cute dog running around the whole entire house disturbing my flow. So I get it, but damn.
Instead, we live in the timeline where D'Elia and Di praise Rogan for defeating the evildoer, joke thief Carlos Mencia for 15 minutes of this podcast.
He said, if I had to call out Mencia again, I would still do it.
Really?
It's weird how it's stuck with him and not with others, though. You know what I mean?
Like who else?
There's other comics that people say, like Amy Schumer.
And how amazing Joe is, yet he hasn't mentioned D'Elia in half a decade, but kept Callan around. Anyway. All the while, Rogan's Burn the Boats had so many of other people's old jokes that Joe even did his own joke from his 2010 special and a Schaub joke, plus a few
YouTuber Elephant Graver, big up my G. Elephant Graver alleged that Rogan's stand-up special both reused his own old jokes and stole jokes from others. Crazy, isn't it? Retelling your own old jokes, going back in the archives and patting stuff on the back. And also retelling, other jokes is fucking hilarious. I love it. Come on, Barakat.
few that sound extremely similar to Burr, CK as well, but nobody will ever dare bring that up though. Kiss the ring, like Jeff said.
In that circumstance, Tony is daddy, right? Now I gotta treat daddy like dad. I gotta kiss the rings, you know? You don't go on Joe Rogan and then start talking shit. You know, Joe's dad. It's not like Tony Hinchcliffe ever wanted me on that show.
Gross, isn't it? Joe's dad. Why is he dad? Excuse me? Why are you referring to another man that isn't your dad? Just because he's famous and rich? Like, allow it, bro. Maybe, I don't know, just allow it. Sorry, just fucking allow it.
Oh, until I did Joe Rogan. Once Rogan was like, this Jeff Dye guy is really good, then everyone else has to fall in line.
Right. Just prior to that, Jeff dunks on a comedian they're too scared to name for being a hack, and that hacks get laughs, yet complains about anyone that critiques him. Huh. Weird.
Hacks kill. I just couldn't just leave it alone. Like, that's how snappy I am.
You're a bully. You're the reason why I walk around Laugh Factory like this. I just get like so tense, dude.
That's a good point. Big up Silas. Yeah, someone does need to make an AI video of Rogan Mencia moment, but it's him confronting his future self. Yeah, exactly. That would be fucking sick, actually. I hope someone hears that and does it themselves.
I not only hated his act, but I hated that it was working. Because, hacks kill.
Then D'Elia goes on with a cope about how they've worked too long to be critiqued. By default, I am funny. Laugh now.
Say what you want about you and I. We worked too long and too hard for anyone to be like, that's not funny.
Right.
Like, yeah, it is. It's just not funny to you.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
and so
what
it's
a great conversation, by the way.
It's so weird. I have to deal with that shit. Me.
Comedy is subjective, but there's a reason George Janko mentioned Shane Gillis's Beautiful Dogs and how well structured that special is and how he watched it over and over in this exact podcast, but didn't mention D'Elia's Grow or Die or Jeff Dye's Last Cowboy in LA the same way. The final joke in Chris's...
That's such a shitty name for a special. Last Cowboy in LA. What? You're not even... Anyway, whatever.
Special is literally putting my son in a seat that doesn't fit him, saying he's 5 when he's 1 to Uber driver, then blaming my wife for farting to cover up the son's pooping, which all in all means Chris is a good dad for having his back.
I'm sorry, sir. My wife farted. And you know what? I had Calvin's back. So say what you want about me, but I'm a good dad. Thank you very much.
Well, with writing like that, my bad everyone, Chris D'Elia truly is a genius. Or the 5 or 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, brilliant video for fucking Retroactive. Like I said before, it's crazy how all of Chris D'Elia's friends are going out their way to defend him, but he's not really saying much himself personally, which I think is a good thing.
Powerful bunch!
Much he's been. Big up Young Odd Vibes.
I ate my last pizza roll. You don't have to deal with it. I do. My dad is getting old.
Big up Young Odd Vibes. I'm just remembering as well the last time I found out what a pizza roll is. I think it was the same time that I was asking questions about a fucking Tootsie Roll and shit. Or, no, not Tootsie Roll. Tater Tots. Tootsie Roll. Tater Tots. And that's the same time I was looking for that.